I started this whole trip in, I think it was October of 1971. So now this is what, 30 years later? And they're now releasing the series on DVD. So I'm approached, and do I want to be involved in, you know, putting some extras into the DVD and helping it happen in a big way? And I said, well, of course. And so we started thinking of all kinds of stuff, and the thing we've come up with most recently is, why don't I make a pilgrimage to the Shaolin Temple? I said yes. So here I am. Well, just so you have an introduction, we brought Jay and Rob Moses, who has been my trainer and somewhat of a mentor to me for, I think it's 22 years now. So it was great that we were able to lure him to come all the way over here to mainland China, which of course he was eager to do. But he is a super kung fu guy and a great friend and a genius of bringing joy to things around him. And Jay, what we call him is the glue. As a matter of fact, he's now got a nickname of Elmer because he just seems to make things come together. And he's also probably my closest friend these days. So they sent a car for me. I don't remember the car. There's an awful lot of cars that come for me these days.
And we were ready, but the limo wasn't. They were an hour late. The limo driver was the worst limo driver on the planet. We won't name the company. He had no clue on which way to go.
Okay, now if that's Valley Vista, you should turn left there.
So David directed him all the back routes to get to the airport.
Keep going straight.
And we were running late, and it's like we were going to miss this flight.
And pretty much you can just follow these cars because they know where we're going.
But we miraculously made it to the airport, and bang, we're on the plane. Whew, we're in the air. 12 hours and 20 minutes later, we landed in Beijing.
There ain't no limos or anything, you know. We get into a bus.
If you have any questions, just ask me. And if I can answer, of course. If I can't, I will, you know, report to my company and ask them. Yeah. Okay.
And I come to this Hyatt house, which ordinarily is a pretty ordinary hotel, but there is nothing ordinary in Beijing. It's a palace fit for an emperor.
Our first day in Beijing, we went to Tiananmen Square.
Hey.
And the first thing getting off the bus, David and I were like, it is so cold here. It was freezing.
Why do you keep carrying that animal around with you?
I might need it.
It's really big, wide, long, and the day we were there, really cold. The basic purpose of this thing is to drive tanks down it, right? I had seen a lot of newsreel footage in the past where these wide spaces, these wide empty spaces, were filled with tanks and, you know, carriers sort of that had missiles on them. Where, you know, that's what it was used for, was to show the military power of Red China.
And we just basically walked around and were talking about what had happened at that place several years ago.
Now this is where the tanks and the missile carriers and everything would come down here, yeah.
All the great policy of the country made decision right here. Yeah, in the great hall of people.
This was different last time I was here, very different. All this Goldie stuff wasn't here. It was just as barren looking though. It's either a giant squid or a sperm with a lot of tails. We went to the Forbidden Palace, which it turns out is actually not forbidden, but it is foreboding and forbidding.
So then we go and there's a little tunnel and you go underneath to go to the Forbidden City.
on earth is kwai chang caine doing in China?
Freezing.
Forbidden. Silver is running along beside me, talking as fast as she can to tell me all the wonderful things about the Forbidden Palace.
And it's a place for the emperor got enthronement and celebrate his birthday celebration, only for big ceremony of the country. Yeah.
I kind of wonder actually why an emperor would want to be an emperor. But if I were an emperor and I had my choice, which I would because I'm an emperor, I'd say put my palace somewhere in the south of China where it doesn't get this cold.
Three main buildings.
Oh, see you over there.
The first time I was here years ago for another pilgrimage to the Shaolin monastery, things were pretty much still connected to the Cultural Revolution. There was a lot of Mao jackets being worn, and there were loudspeakers at lunchtime that broadcast martial music and apparently orders from Big Brother or something in a big loud voice. And then the next time I was here for Kill Bill, it was entirely different. People wearing jeans and brightly colored t-shirts and stuff. It's all the same to me. You know, if it's not Bob Dylan or the Beatles or the Stones or Frank Sinatra, a little bit of Bruce Springsteen, it all sounds the same to me.
Elton, he played China. He was one of the first rockers to play China.
Not at this time of the year.
We were having lots of laughs. I mean, this was a real yuck fest because we're really close. David, Rob, and I were talking, telling jokes and stuff. It helped to kind of keep us warm.
Somehow or another, it looks a lot funnier on you than it does on him. It wasn't entirely arbitrary that I decided to be a movie actor because, you know, you get to live in Los Angeles and it never really gets cold there. When I was a little kid, and well, I wasn't a little kid, but I worked on a dairy farm in Vermont, right? And that, you know, I mean, you got snow drifts that are 30 feet high. You know, you go on one side of the barn, there isn't a barn, there's a hill. And there were always, you know, there was a lot of Bible thumping going on. They were telling me about how hot hell was, man. That sounded so cool to me, man. I would have been a much better kid if they told me that hell was you know, you freeze in hell.
I'd have been a better kid.
So after the Forbidden City, the boys decided to put us in a rickshaw. It's like I would rather walk than in a rickshaw.
How much footage do you need of me in a rickshaw?
Not long.
Let's pretend this is a movie.
So now
And in a movie, you know, I would have spent 3 minutes doing that, and then I go back to my trailer. I have never been this far from my trailer ever in my entire career.
Here's your rickshaw right here.
You know what they are? It's a silkworm. I've already had one, and I'm feeling a bit...
Oh, so we're on to the second take. All right.
I want the one with the blanket. I don't think Kwai Chang would ever be seen dead in a rickshaw. Oh, that's sweet, yeah. That is 15% of the cheetah population of the world.
It was lightly snowing. It was so cold.